A very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to Primetime News. We are coming to you live from the Newsfirst Christmas Centre here at the Echelon Square in Colombo. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Azra San. Good evening, Joe.
A very good evening to all our viewers. Well, just like Asha mentioned, here we are today as well, bringing you the news that matters right here at the Echelon Square. The centre of the Christmas hub, I would say, because we could see just a lot of excitement around this place. We can see children flocking from all corners just to take a glimpse of how the news has actually been telecast live, and also we can see so many people coming to this area and witnessing the season of Christmas.
Yes, and if you have not come here yet, it is time that you come and witness and experience the joy that we bring to you from Newsfirst. With that being said, let's take a look at the headlines.
Opposition leader position to Mahinda Rajapaksa. Several parties oppose while challenging the parliamentary position. Lakshman Senaviratne, Indika Bandaranayake and Vijay Muni Soisa joined the government benches. New cabinet to be limited to 30, seniors to sacrifice their ministerial positions. Mihin Lanka Private Limited owes state banks over 5.17 million rupees, a revelation at the Presidential Commission. Angelo Matthews scores a century against New Zealand.
Well, now, amidst all the political controversies taking place in the country, today we begin our news with something a bit of a different twist. Now, a special incident from the first test between Sri Lanka and New Zealand is what we are going to tell you about. Now, at stumps playing their second innings, Sri Lankans were 259 runs for the loss of 3 wickets and trailing by 37 runs. Well, this is how Angelo Matthews celebrated after his 9th test century today.
In local news now, today at the Parliament, Speaker Karu Jayasuriya announced that he recognized Mahinda Rajapaksa as the leader of the opposition. However, United National Party, Muslim Congress and the Tamil National Alliance pointed out that Mahinda Rajapaksa taking membership in Sri Lanka Potujana Perumuna eventually vacates his seat at the Parliament according to the Constitution. The Speaker will announce his decision in this regard on Friday.
A group of UPFA members met with the President in the morning and they decided to appoint Mahinda Rajapaksa as the opposition leader. Thereafter, General Secretary of the UPFA, Mahinda Amaravira, gave this in writing to the Speaker of Parliament with his signature.
Parliamentary Sabhanayaka Duriya ha Aandu Pakshe Pradhana Sanghavida.
I shall recognize Lakshman Kiriyalla and Gayantha Karunatilaka respectively as the leader of the House and the Chief Government Whip. The leader of the opposition shall be selected from all parties that has sat at the opposition, where from the party that has most number of seats or the leader of the independent group of the Parliament. According to the tradition of the Parliament, I must recognize the leader of the United People's Freedom Alliance, which has the most number of members at the Parliament who have decided to remain seated at the opposition as the leader of the opposition. Therefore, I recognize Mahinda Rajapaksa as the leader of the opposition and Mahinda Amaravira as the chief opposition whip. According to the standing orders, outsiders cannot enter Parliament. There are a few outsiders here. The Constitution says that if an MP leaves the respective political party 1 month after the resignation, he loses his seat. My point is that the membership of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party expires in a month. 60% of them are in the Flower Bud Party and you're the leader of the Flower Bud Party. Is this what you call safeguarding the democracy? An autocratic figure has been appointed to the government.
The leader of the UPFA is in the cabinet, the head of the cabinet, and holds 3 portfolios in the cabinet. Another member of the UPFA cannot be the leader of the opposition. That is one. Secondly, from the issue that has been raised by the leader of the House today, Article 99(13) of the Constitution very clearly stipulates that if a member of Parliament resigns or ceases to be a member of the political party through which he was elected to Parliament, then his seat in Parliament, he vacates his seat in Parliament upon the expiration of 1 month from ceasing to be a member of that political party. The question has arisen as to whether those who resign from the SLFP have also ceased to be members of the UPFA by that very fact of resigning from the SLFP, or by taking membership in another political party, whether they have so lost their membership in the SLFP and consequently lost their membership in the UPFA as well. I take the view that there are strangers in the house here today and they must be asked to vacate the chamber. But if there is a question of fact to be ascertained, surely the Parliament is competent to ascertain that fact, and we will be moving for an appointment of a select committee to inquire into that question of fact, to ascertain as to whether some members, some who claim to be members and who have entered this chamber today, have in fact lost their membership in Parliament, because that's a crucial question. But until such time, I earnestly request the Speaker that the position of the Leader of the Opposition not be changed. Thank you.
This is a case with evidence. This is not a case where you can look at the Constitution at its surface and decide. This problem will affect Mahinda Rajapaksa, who was appointed to the position of opposition leader today as well. This is a serious matter. What is most suitable is to appoint a select committee for this and carry out an inquiry into the legal matters and reach a suitable decision regarding this serious matter.
පිළිබඳ විමර්ශනය කරලා සුදුසු තීරණයක් ගැනීම තමයි ගරු කතානායකතුමනි සුදුසු වන්නේ.
Honorable member, you have to give me a written submission because I have to take a decision fairly early. Because by Friday I'll give my ruling on this.
Now the problem is whether the former president has become a former member of Parliament. That's the issue now. So now this is a very critical question, and therefore it is important for us to set up a select committee to go into this in detail to see whether this matter of fact is in fact true or not. Honorable Uday Gaman Pilla and Honorable Vasudeva Nanayakara, being attorneys at law, has wrongly advised His Excellency the President and has unfortunately put Honorable Mahinda Rajapaksa into serious trouble.
None of the members of the Parliament got selected from the Sri Lanka Freedom Party according to the Gazette notification and nomination papers. Since there is no agreement between each other, and as you ordered, certainly it is the United People's Freedom Alliance that should be in the opposition. Therefore, none of our members in the United People's Freedom Alliance have an obstruction to be the leader of the opposition. In the year 1994, leader of the UNP, D.B. Wijayatunga, held the position of president. Meanwhile, Gamini Disanayak of the UNP held the opposition leader's position. In 2001, leader of the Podu Peramuna was Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga while being the president of the country. A member of that party, Ratnasiri Wickramanayake, was the leader of the opposition. When Maithripala Sirisena became the president in 2015, Nimal Siripala de Silva held the position as the leader of the opposition. Honourable Speaker, did the General Secretary of the UPFA inform you that several parliamentarians have resigned? Sumandiran has brought out a pointless argument that the UPFA cannot hold the opposition. When Chandrika Bandaranaike was the president, this Prime Minister was there as the Prime Minister as well, and opposition leader was Mahinda Rajapaksa. I propose to carry on the parliamentary proceedings without considering these pointless arguments, without downgrading the opposition leader's post and members of the parliament.
Honourable
Speaker, Chandrika Bandaranaike did not hold a portfolio back then, only the presidency. She did not hold a cabinet portfolio. Check properly.
Well, this was opposition leader Mahinda Rajapaksa's reaction on statements saying the MPs who obtained membership of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna must be removed from parliamentary seat.
There is no challenge and no problem. There is no room for any issues. These positions should not be given priority.
there has been much worse incidents.
Former leader of the opposition, R. Sambandhan, also commented on the appointment of the new opposition leader.
Well, Speaker has made an announcement, that's it, and it's being taken up again on Friday. But Speaker has made an announcement, as is customary in this country, majoritarianism has prevailed.
You are not sure whether you are the opposition leader?
It's not a question of being sure or unsure.
But Speaker said Mahinda Rajapaksa has been appointed.
But there are some questions that you must not answer. The question is whether Mahinda Rajapaksa will continue to be Member of Parliament.
Now, UPFA MP Nimal Siripala de Silva responded to the questions raised by journalists today.
Three members of the UPFA joined the ruling party during the parliamentary session today.
MPs Vijay Soisa, Lakshman Senviratne and Indika Bandaranayake crossed the floor and joined the government benches today.
The political uncertainty burden we experience will have to be borne by the people of this country in the guise of taxes. Speaker, as members of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, we have a huge responsibility. We will not have any issue in working with the chairman of the party, Maithripala Sirisena, and Mahinda Rajapaksa. But I didn't know that he has joined another party until I saw it in the media.
අපේ ගරු අනුශාසකවරයා කියලා මම අදත් කල්පනා කරනවා. අපි අර බාන්දුරා මලට වැටුණු කෝඳුරුව වගේ. අපි බාන්දුරා මල වැහිලා කෝඳුරුවට එන්න විදියක් නැහැ. මේකට සුලි සුලඟක් එන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම නැත්නම් මේ බාන්දුරා මල කැඩිලා පෙති කැඩිලා විසිරිලා යන්න ඕනේ. අපි ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ
We as members of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party are in a very helpless situation. Ranjit Madduma Bandara and I have been against each other. But we had to sit together today.
අද මේ ණයටයි පොළඟට එකට වාඩි වෙන්න සිද්ධ වුණා. ගරු කතානායකතුමනි මේ ගලපු ගම් වතුරේ එක කෙහෙල් කොටේ අපිට නගින්න සිද්ධ වුණා. එහෙම නගින්න සිද්ධ වුණේ ඇයි? අපි වැටට තියලා අමුඩේ ගහලා ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂේ අපිට ඉස්සරහට යන්නත් බෑ. පස්සට යන්නත් බෑ. එක්ක ගරු කතානායකතුමනි අමුඩේ ගලවන්න ඕන නැත්නම් වැට කපන්න ඕන. අපේ හිටපු ජනාධිපති
Former President, you gave me a ministerial portfolio. I respected you. But we cannot move forward with whoever that is around you. What were the ministerial portfolios that were given to us?
අපිට දීපු ඇමතික මට කැලේ ඇමති, පුෂ්පෙට පොල් ඇමති, සුමේදට කිහිලිකරු ඇමති. මම වල් ඇමති, පුෂ්පය පොල් ඇමති. හරිද? කිහිලිකරු ඇමති. මට අපේ ආණ්ඩුකාර
We couldn't work in our ministries. Although they say the previous government didn't work, we opened 200 tanks under the guidance of President Maithripala Sirisena. We have already constructed 100 tanks. I heard that they said it doesn't matter if I have a ministerial post or not. Do not think that I joined the UNP. Do not think that I am joining the government to maintain political stability. I remember Arjun Ranatunga bringing 10 million rupees to Madam Chandrika to buy the government. I'd like to remind you that from my father's time, we have joined an alliance to do a revolution in the country.
Well, now, according to the United National Party, several more parliamentarians are to join the government.
There will be more joining us tomorrow and the day after. We will choose and select.
Well, now, will any action be taken against those who joined the ruling party? UPFA MP Dasiri Jayasekara expressed his views at the parliamentary complex today.
We hope to take disciplinary action against them if the President and the Central Committee would say so. I believe we do not have any duty to act towards gaining any power in the UNP other than the opposition. We are waiting to see what happens. This is discussed in Parliament. They have the freedom to make such a decision. They can cross over as they please. There is no issue in this government. There is no reason not to. I am not aware of this. You must make this inquiry from the President himself. There is nothing much to say. You should go now.
The Cabinet of Ministers was not sworn in today. Is there a reason for this delay? UNP MPs expressed these views during a press briefing held at the Parliamentary complex.
The Prime Minister stated that a few ministers of the present cabinet will be compelled to sacrifice their ministerial positions and has requested everyone's support for this. He further stated that several new MPs will also be included in the new cabinet. Several MPs and ministers of the UNP and other supporting parties have expressed their willingness to sacrifice their ministerial positions to maintain the limit of 30 members of the cabinet. Well, it is not an easy task to manage a government. There is a disagreement over everything. One person will tell one thing and another would say something else. I was the Deputy Minister of Wildlife last time. I am an individual who obtained 118,000 votes and was appointed as the Deputy Minister. However, there is no point if the position of Deputy Minister does not have any power or responsibility. It is pointless to maintain such positions and waste public funds by having vehicles, an office and staff. The position must be empowered to get work done. I was attached to the Ministry of Cultural Affairs and then was appointed the Deputy Minister of Wildlife. I spent my own money to do work. However, I was not permitted to do that as well.
The Central Committee of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party was convened today under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena. Following the meeting, Chairman of the SLFP Youth Front, Shant Bandara, expressed the following views.
President Maithripala Sirisena has decided already. We as the SLFP will not provide our support to any other alliance or government. If someone is going ahead against the decision of the party, they can do so according to their personal opinion. But the President has decided not to grant them a ministry, and the Central Committee agreed to this.
Now, highlighting the need to abolish the executive presidency, the JVP expressed a proposal to Parliament over the adjournment motion.
ඔබතුමාට මතක නම් 1982 පළවෙනි ජනාධිපතිවරණ මන්ත්‍රීතුමාලා කරුණා කරලා මේ තමන්ගේ ස්ථානවල ඉඳ ගන්න මොකද මේ විවාදයට නැත්නම් බාධා පැමිණෙනවා. ඔව් දැන් ඉතින් ඒ අර කලින් කියපු දේශ
There is no need for any political morality anymore as the government has already been formed. However, until the government was formed, everyone remained quiet like rats. It is only when the speaker raises his voice that everyone is well behaved. No one is prepared to listen to a proposal such as the abolishing of the executive presidency. Yesterday, Ranil Wickremesinghe said that if 2/3 majority is given to him, the executive presidency will be abolished. Any leader with 2/3 majority will not abolish the executive presidency. If this needs to be done, now is the time where no one is able to claim even a simple majority. This is an attempt by our Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, who can never win an election in our country. He has used the JVP to present the 20th Amendment to Parliament in an attempt to become the President through a shortcut. What is he proposing? To enable the appointment of a President with the approval of 113 MPs. How many MPs are currently crossing over? Therefore, the UNP is dreaming to see Ranil Wickremesinghe be appointed as the President through the support of the JVP.
රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමා මේ රටේ ජනාධිපති වෙනවා දකින්න. තව බොහෝ අය කියනවා මේ විශ්ව සංශෝධනය අපි රැගෙන ඉන්නේ රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්තයාට බලය පවරන්න. හොඳට
Many people think that the 20th Amendment is brought forward to bring Ranil Wickremesinghe into power. This must be deeply analysed. If the 20th Amendment abolishing the executive presidency is approved, Mahinda Rajapaksa will not have to suffer the humiliation of illegal appointments to the position of Prime Minister. If the people wants him, he can be appointed as the Prime Minister. We are ready to make any changes to this amendment. Our target is to remove the underlying autocratic power of the executive presidency.
හරය මේ අත්නෝමතික බලය ඉවත් කරන එක. පෞගේ අර්බුද සමයේ ජනතා විමුක්ති පෙරමුණේ මන්ත්‍රීතුමාලා කිව්වේ අපිට මේ අර්බුදයේ අවසන්.
During the recent crisis, MPs of the JVP stated that they will bring forward a proposal to dissolve Parliament. Immediately after the crisis is over, they are incapable of keeping up to their promise of bringing forward a no-confidence motion against Mahinda Rajapaksa and instead presented this amendment to Parliament. Similar to a dog with rabies who is afraid of water, the UNP is afraid to face the people.
ජනබීතිකාව හැදුණු එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය ජනතාව ඉදිරියට යන
A new group of civil organizations has been formed as the Jatika Janata Vyaparya, also loosely translated as National People's Movement. The main objective of this movement is to lead political propaganda of parties to a developed control system. With a collaboration of 17 civil organizations, this party has formed with the aim of making a revolution politically, economically and socially.
Our country has gone through a great economic burden. Amidst all of this, the political crisis that the country underwent during the last 2 months showcased true colors of our politicians. What message does this convey? It says that you are slaves of this colony and you are our slaves. We are expecting a political group will be formed from the civil organization which we can trust. We are willing to support them if they enter into politics.
We have entered a crisis, and for that we need a social and economical philosophy. Our country does not only need a new leadership, new citizens are also required. We all have to be active citizens. A strong alliance, a collective vision and a future plan is needed.
Well, testifying at today's Presidential Commission of Inquiry on irregularities at Sri Lankan Airlines, Sri Lankan Catering and Mihin Lanka was liquidator of Mihin Lanka Private Limited, Sudat Kumara, and Technical Services Engineer at Sri Lankan Airlines, Asita Fernando.
It was revealed at the Commission today that the airlines incurred an additional cost of approximately 539,726,466 rupees due to a delay in redelivering a leased Airbus A320 to its lessor. The leased Airbus A320 was due for redelivery on the 15th of March 2017, however was only returned on the 11th of September 2017, 6 months past the due date. As a result, Sri Lankan Airlines had incurred an additional cost of $3,532,241, which is approximately 539,726,466 rupees. The second witness, Sudat Kumara, liquidator of Mihin Lanka Private Limited, further revealed that as at the 15th of January this year, Mihin Lanka owed state banks, Bank of Ceylon and People's Bank approximately 5,177,572,889 rupees, the ETF 136,647 rupees, and the Commissioner of Labour 16,762,302 rupees.
Still in local news, leader of the National Unity Alliance, Azad Sali, convened a media briefing in Colombo today.
What is the plan of the UNP? Now they want to have a broader alliance. There will be leaders of all parties in that broader alliance. So who will come forward from the UNP? It clearly shows that no one else has a chance in being a leader. Will Sajith Premadasa get a position? Will Ravi Karunanayaka get? No. When the Leadership Council comes into effect, only leaders will be included. Will there be democracy in the UNP? If they start democracy from there, will that eventually lead to democracy in the country? What is expected by the people? That is what needs to be provided by the government. What's needed by a party member? That's what should be given by the party leader. If you do not find a solution to this issue, no one will be able to stop the UNP from splitting into two.
The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna convened a media briefing today.
We saw how they were talking about another party at the Golf screen yesterday. This front is being created for TNA and JVP to enter. If they were able to bring in a large crowd to Golface, they will not have a problem in going for election. They have the Prime Minister's position. They will also appoint a new cabinet of ministers. We would like if they contest an election with the Prime Minister's position and the new cabinet. We will not have a problem with that, and we will not even need a caretaker government.
Another phase of releasing lands used by the Sri Lanka Army in the north and east, which does not compromise national security, took place in Mullaitivu today. The event got underway with the instructions of President Maithripala Sirisena.
Over 52 acres of land held by the military in the Mullaitivu district were returned to their original owners today. Sri Lanka Army has planned to release around 263.55 acres of land before the 31st of this month. Sri Lanka Army says 90% of private lands and 79% state lands acquired before May 2009 has already been released.
Beneficial owner of Perpetual Treasuries Arjun Aloysius and the company's CEO Kasim Palisena have been further remanded until the 1st of January.
The suspects were produced before Colombo Chief Magistrate Lanka this morning. The two are suspects in the ongoing case surrounding the central bank bond issuance. The magistrate said that the bail applications filed by Arjun Aloysius and Kasim Palisena will be considered in the future.
Sports First Allianz Platinum Awards 2018.
Even though I lost my right leg, I did not fall down in life. I had an aim to succeed. I pursued that aim. Now my aim is to win an award at this prestigious ceremony. I am ready for Platinum Awards. I am Dumira Maduranga.
Sports First Allianz Platinum Awards 2018.
Well, with that, we wrap this edition of Primetime News. Thank you very much for stopping by. I'm Joel Outskun.
And I'm Azra Hassan. Take care and good night.